Hello everyone, this is Jay High from Couch and Keyboard, and I am back. Took a little bit of time, a little bit longer than I wanted to, but here we are again with another best of all time for Smash characters. And this one is, I believe, our seventh. Pretty sure our seventh. This is our third Melee newcomer, and this one was pretty challenging. There's actually not as many successful Ganons as I thought there were. But still want to give props. I had to go through a lot of different research. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, here's kind of my mentality. I want to go over rankings. Wins is my main one this time around, just because sometimes rankings weren't always given out to some of these people. Placements, and then how good the character is in the game. Plays a little bit, if they're winning tournaments or not, which wasn't very often for here. I think that Modern Ultimate's the hardest, Modern Melee, and all that is kind of similar. PM is going to be a lot of this video. I don't want to necessarily shy away from PM, but it is a smaller player base, but I still want to give props. So let's go ahead and get into the tier list placings that I mentioned earlier. Now, even though technically by letter Smash 4 Ganon is the worst, Brawl Ganon is absolute butt cheeks. So the thing is, I couldn't really find much. There's a couple people that played Ganon, but it's like, don't play this character. Ultimate is technically like a worse number, but I feel like Ultimate Ganon is like a little bit better than Smash 4 Ganon. Obviously, like you have less of an ability to win with a side B, like a flame choke off stage, because that automatically makes the Ganon lose first. So that's unfortunate. Melee, technically the number is one of the higher ones. I think the highest besides Smash Remix. But it's a smaller game in terms of characters. Generally, Project M is the best version of Ganon with, you have Float, you have other different things. It seems like Project M Ganon is the best out of those. But Ganon's not a top tier in any game. Like some, he's okay, some he's not good, but it is kind of funny just how for one of the main villains in video game history, he is not good in a lot of these games. Melee, this is probably people's like main idea when they hear about Ganondorf, is Melee Ganondorf. You have Kage, Bizarre Flame, Nun. Some more recent ones, you have Epic Murloc, Prometheus. Trail's been playing a while. He's mainly Ice Climbers, but he tries a little bit of Ganon. Even Captain Jack, Dream down in Mexico. Kuro is kind of the new kid on the block. He attended Full House Siege and did pretty solidly in both the VIP bracket and in the crew battle versus Cody. He actually took the last stock. So Kuro is definitely on the up and up. But yeah. Eddie, also one of the OGs in like the first few years of the game. Brawl, not very many players. I think people are more known for them playing other games, but like Verminubis and Raycalm and a few others, DLA, like were pretty good, but more so like combo video, less like tournament results. For Smash 4, there started to be a little bit more. You had like Rickles, you had Raycalm again, Pone, I'm not quite sure. In Japan, in my region, there was Van and Babunga. I played Babunga in bracket, and that was like a 3-minute set. That was fast. Gungnir, Adam. There's a few people here and there. Not quite as much. We've seen a lot more in Ultimate. Partially, I just more aware because of more like it's a longer time and also better resources for knowing. But there's been a lot of Ganondorf on the big stage. Not always successful. Rickles dropping that really close set against CDK. That would have been like huge. But yeah. So there's been a few coming up. There's some in Japan like Shindalion, Kamigura, Higachan. Major is one of the more notable in the Western Hemisphere. Raycom, Van, Adam kept playing, kept trying Ganondorf. People like Fatality, Shiny Mark, Super Semi, tried out Ganondorf a little bit, not too much success. Also Bloody Knight in MDVA, Conky Dorf, I think was up here for a little bit. But yeah, there's been some people. PM is definitely, I'd say, the highest profile success that Ganon has had. In terms, it's a smaller pool, but you know, like, or I guess the fish in the pond. Ganon is a bigger fish in this pond, but the pond isn't as big. But yeah, there's been a bunch of, like, I didn't go down the full list of notable Ganons out there, but like I put enough to where like all of these people have decent results, where they have at least like one fairly notable win. Junebug obviously bringing Ganon to a lot of success in early PM. You have Chalupi, Potatoes, Jackie, Che, even Thunder's Rain tried a little bit. Same with Malachi. You have these top players trying out Ganon a little bit. Also, Red Ranger and Mr. Brandendorf had this pretty cool set. I think Paragon LA. Ripple, pretty good. DDD tries out a little bit. A few other people trying out Ganon. Not a ton of success, but you know, HDR, I've heard Ganon's not too bad in that. And then Smash Remix, people just love the 64 engine if they are already good at it, like Josh Brody I've mentioned in these videos before. So it's like, hey, you know, someone who is not the best in neutral but can kill really easily. Sometimes a player with good fundamentals can make Ganon work. Here are some HMs. Now, Ray Calm, this is, you know, a shout out because of longevity. Also has a win on Riddles. Major, people probably expect Major to be higher on this, but doesn't quite have a ton of good wins. I think his best win is Base Mage, which is good, but not quite. Like, I think Base Mage was like around like the top 100 level, rather than being like top 50 or something. Potatoes Are Yum and Che are very close. You know, both being around top 50. I was kind of weighing the two, and then I kind of bumped them down because of other people's success. But both pretty good. I think they both did pretty good against like Kirby's and but yeah, they did all right. Che a little bit more recent, a little bit more higher ranked. But yeah, and then None. People probably expect None to be higher on this list, and I looked, but I couldn't find much. The main thing is like, I don't think he got 6-0'd, but None beat Hugs twice at a Smash Factor with Ganon. That's good. I think Hugs was not quite as good that year, maybe partially because of this loss. He was like top 40, something like that. So that's good, but I don't think it's quite enough to get top 10 here. I can see the argument, but I think you need a lot more. Like, None plays a lot of Ganon for like stream and like friendlies, and you know, he enters some low tier brackets, but he doesn't actually stick with Ganon that much. I mean, people remember him losing to Kid with Ganon. Like, he doesn't have a ton of Ganon wins. Very, very good Falcon, one of the best Falcons of all time. I'll get to him for that, but not the best Ganon in terms of results. Potential, sure, but results, not that much. All right, here we are with number 10. We have Chalupi. Now, Chalupi is a Falcon main from Illinois. There's going to be a lot of Illinois on this list. Just they play a lot of PM, have a lot of good Smash over there. Rest in peace to their main tournament series they had. What was it? Tri-Point or whatever. They lost their venue, but you know, they're still doing good things over there, and has some solid wins here. Some against Michael, Metroid, Shenanigans, Kendrick, Live, Ripple, all like top 50 players. Peaked at number 12 2 years in a row. The thing is, he goes Falcon a lot. Similar to None, doesn't play a lot of Ganon. Now, maybe I'm missing something, and I didn't find all of the results, but I looked, and he's always had Ganon as a secondary. This little asterisk right here means that another character was the main character. Chalupi is very good, but goes Falcon a lot of the time. So from what I saw, these were his Ganon wins, and that's good. More than None, I would say. The player, not the other word. But yeah, I think that Chalupi definitely high rankings, but not necessarily sticking out with Ganon all the time. All right, number 9, Higachan. Now, pretty good ultimate player. Peaked with like a top 50-ish win with Atorie. A lot of other pretty good wins. I think got around like 5 or 6 top 150 wins. Also beat Shindeline in the Ditto. Ludamato. KNB just beat MKLeo. So these are good. Not quite, like, I think similar to Major, but has a much better like top win. So that's kind of the difference between Major and Higachan, in my opinion. Pretty good here and there. I think this was like an invitational where Higachan went winless besides beating Atorie, which is like, that's a pretty good win. Which Atorie's kind of fallen off a little bit, but still a good win. So props. Again, I think that Modern Ultimate is very, very challenging. And so even though it's not the biggest list of high, like, top level wins, like getting around the top 100 level wins is still very good. All right, now we are going on to number 8. And we have Junebug. Now, this seems wrong. I agree. But Junebug was, going secondary Ganon, because he had a really good Diddy Kong. Also had a solid Sheik, like he brought over from Melee. But the thing is, Junebug would go Ganon as a counterpick character in these sets, to where he'd go Diddy for most of it, and then if the opponent picked a smaller stage like Yoshi's Story or WarioWare, then Junebug would switch to go Ganon. So some of these wins, he went mostly Diddy. So I'm not saying that this should be like a third of a win or 2/3 of a win, but I don't value these wins quite as much. Also, the all-time list doesn't necessarily weigh more recent results. I think that Junebug was definitely a very good player, and on the Diddy Kong list, he will be very high on it. But it's probably more competitive in some ways. But I don't think that all these wins here count the same, not only because it's early PM or middle PM, I guess. I think that these wins this is not him going solo Ganon. So a few of these he did. Like at locals, he beat some MDVA people with solo Ganon. But a lot of this top level stuff, he didn't go solo Ganon. And I don't think that's quite as impressive as someone going solo Ganon. Now, definitely very good. I could see the argument for being higher, but I think that maining a character is more impressive than playing mostly another character and using it as a counterpick. It's still important, it's still impressive, but I think that maining character is kind of the purpose of this list. Like, secondaries can be good, but you're not going to benefit as much because you're not playing the character as much. Now, number 7, we have Jackie. Now, Jackie's kind of the new kid on the block. They have been doing very well in PM recently. Getting number 35 last year. Doesn't have a ton of results. I saw a couple in like 2022. Started entering more in 2024. Also Illinois. But had a really good run at out of the bracket earlier this year, beating Dirt Boy, one of the best in PM's history. Also got 5th at Show Me Your Moves 25. Had a really close set against Blitz. I think it was the Gommel Shadow Major. I'm not quite sure. But either way, has a lot of really good wins. More notable wins than Che and Potatoes Are Yum. Also has not an amazing Melee track record, but solid enough in my opinion. And yeah, I think that Jackie is the future of PM Ganon. Certainly has the most recent top level Ganon rank. Chalupi is technically higher, but goes mostly Falcon. So I think that Jackie is higher. And yeah, here we on to our number 6. This is pretty close between these next two. Epic Murloc. Epic Murloc has been a solid, consistent player in SoCal, doing pretty good. Sometimes, in that Arcadian range, but did get top 64 at SmashCon a few years ago. Getting some wins on Mike Hayes, West Balls, Smash Poppy, a bunch against Curd, Billy Bo Peep, etc., Squid, Goody. Some of these players weren't quite as good at the time, but still good. A solid amount. I think I counted 10 top 100 wins. That's very good. So I want to give a lot of props to Epic Murloc. 5 and 6 are very close. I am biased, so if you disagree, that's fine. But number 5, I got Prometheus. Now, Yao is his real name. We went to high school together. I've known him for a while. He came to one of the very first tournaments I ever TO'd, beat me with his Smash 4 Mario against my Falcon, but then I outplaced him, so he was a little annoyed by that. I think his tag was like Roxas at the time or something, like a Kingdom Hearts character or something. But yeah, and then he went to UNC and started doing a lot of Melee over there. And then, because like he got started, he was mainly a Smash 4 player. I think he won my high school's like Smash 4 tournament. I got third, he got first. So he's a pretty good Smash 4 at the time. Playing like, I think Mario and maybe like Ness. But he started going Ganon, and then I was like, wait, Prometheus is Yao? Like, because I knew he was getting up there. Like, he was beating like GCS and Sharks and a bunch of really good North Carolina players. But then he moved to MDVA. Now, not very close to me, so I didn't see him. And we weren't even that really close. I just kind of just knew about each other. But he was doing very well in MDVA, getting wins on Crike, Malachi. Did beat Zane. I think these were Zane's Spaceys. So take it with a grain of salt. But Zane's Spaceys are still really good. KJ8, Shabo, Preeminent, Frostbite, Bonfire 10, Beckfin, Daryl, Vintage, Foxy Grandpa. Like there are a lot of good wins here. And because Prometheus and Epic Murloc both got 49th at SmashCon, there was like, okay, who's better? Now, I definitely have like a little bit of bias here. Also had a really good showing at the Black and Power and Melee Invitational. I remember this was something that Homemade Waffles threw on. I thought was really cool, bringing together a bunch of black players and like I think it was like Salt won. I think Salt won, but still it was cool to see. And he got top 8 of that, and that was really cool. Also, one of his breakouts in North Carolina, UNC. Getting 5th place here, doing pretty solidly. Now, I'm not saying, like, I don't know how much he played Melee. My events that they had Melee, they had PM, they had Smash 4, even 64 at one time. And so, you know, I think that I kind of got him in touch with some other, like, I had him join like Facebook groups and stuff. He probably would have found the tournaments without me. But he kind of like got interested and then went to UNC, and it was really cool to see. I talked to him at the SmashCon because they were doing the Ganon versus DK crew battle, and so I caught up with him, and that was cool. I think they ended up losing, but yeah, he hasn't been entering that much recently. You know, he's the same age as me because same year in high school, and so he's probably 27 or 28. So maybe moving on, finding other stuff to do. But yeah, I was really impressed, and it's really cool to see someone that I've known for a while be so successful. And yeah, so that's my case for Prometheus over Epic Murloc. It's very close, but there you have it. Number 4. Now this one is kind of strange. People will not see this coming. This is Pawn. I'm not quite sure, but either way, someone that people don't really talk about that much when I hear about top level Ganon. Look at these wins. These 4 wins right here is crazy. Now, I don't think Gak ever really got officially ranked, but we knew Gak was really good. And then these 3, I mean, especially these first 2 are some of the best in Smash Bros. History. Now, I think Smash 4 Ganon is really bad. Like, yeah, it does have Flame Choke being able to kill last stock. And there's also 2 stocks instead of 3 or 4. For Smash 4, so that potentially makes upsets easier. But I don't know. I think that this is like these, and sometimes I value like longevity and like consistency here, but these wins are just crazy. Like that is so good. Not quite as strong in Ultimate, but still really good. So I gotta give a lot of props to Pone, and I mean that's really good. A lot of these are really close. I can see people disagreeing with a lot of this list, but I try my best, and I think that this makes sense. Number 3, we have the legend himself, Shinda Lion. new kid on the block for Ganon in Ultimate, and getting wins like crazy. Most recently beating, not I guess super recent, but beating Ken in Ultimate. Also getting a ton of other ones like Mild, Umeki, Yamanaction, Goryoka, Kept. So like these wins are really good. And not quite getting ranked, but still having a ton of wins. And it's really impressive. Getting 65th at a Kowloon. This doesn't sound amazing, but that is good. Fly High is a bit of a smaller tournament, got third place there. But yeah, like doing really, really good at a lot of events. Shindo Lion, I don't see any signs of slowing down. I think potentially could pass these next two because they're not very active right now. But I have them at 3. I can see them going up or down, but really good results recently. Got to give a lot of props to Shindo Lion. Number 2, Bizarro Flame. Now, Biz has been a very popular player in Melee's history, most notably winning a Ganon Ditto at Apex 2015 and getting these crazy combos, going for some up tilts, and he's really exciting. Now, I wouldn't say that some of the top level wins are quite as good as some other people, but has a lot of wins. Duck twice, Fiction, Hugs twice, so good at the Samus matchup. Fly, Army, good against Ices. Smash Poppy, Curve, Squid, Kira, good against some Spaceys, Homemade Waffles, Ouija Kid, Lovage, Rio Beat, Jace. A lot of really good wins here. Getting top 100 3 times and being in the conversation a 4th time. Very, very good. Getting 9th at Kings of Cali, this was solid. Also, beat Armada's Fox once, and so Armada had to switch to Peach. It wasn't a set win, but that was considered to be a pretty big deal. Because Armada's Fox, more of a Puff Slayer, but still a very good character. So that was really impressive from Biz. And yeah, I think that there's been some other Ganons for Melee that have gotten in this conversation that have since been banned. I'm not including the banned players. So I can see if they were on the list, maybe they would change things up. But from what we have here, Biz definitely number 2 in my eyes and very solid. Now, number 1, it's not really that close in my opinion. I think that while Biz and Kage are thrown in the same conversation, I think Kage just has done so much more. Beating Mango twice at Revival Melee 2. That was crazy. Now it's like, okay, how good is Mango's Falco is he throwing? Which is funny now. But like Mango's Falco was not seen as very serious at the time. He's way more of a puff main. And then, starting to pick up some spacies here and there. But still really good. And was also a good PM player. Got first at the Genesis 2 PM bracket, beating Leffen, J. Caesar, Chillin, Green Ranger. Or I think Green Ranger and Gunblade. I forget which is which. I think Leffen, J. Caesar, Strong Bad, and Gunblade was at PM at Genesis 2. And then Chillin and Green Ranger was at, I think, at Melee FC in like 2012 or something. But either way, very good for Kage, getting a ton of good results. Hasn't been entering as much, but even got top 100 in 2019. So his longevity is unmatched. No one has been this successful with Ganon for as long. Now people compare Kage and Nun, but like Nun is a Falcon main. Ganon is good, but he's not gone solo Ganon like Kage has. Now Kage plays a little bit of Falcon, but way more Ganon than Falcon. Has beaten Shu twice, beat Axe, I think at Melee FC, beat Hugs, West Balls, Kirby Kaze, multiple Hacks wins, Chillin in both games, Ginger, beat None, I think it was like an exhibition, but early on beat Korean DJ and Azen, that's really good. Beat Triff, Keizu, Prince Abu, more recent stuff with Lunar Dusk. I mean, Kage's results have been very good. Now, it's been a while, but has this longevity to where I think it's going to be challenging for someone to eventually beat Kage. I mean, I can see like Bizarro Flame enters local sometimes. Kage, I think, is still in Montreal. They don't have quite as big of a scene. I guess they're not too far from Toronto. He might go to Gamo or something, but I don't think Kage is playing as much anymore. Kuro has kind of taken Kage's mantle in some ways. Kuro was saying how he's gotten inspired and kind of given the mantle by Kage recently. So who knows how much Kage is going to do, but his legacy is very impressive for playing a character that's been known to be pretty bad. So yeah, I think that Kage definitely has a very impressive career, and gotta give props. We'll see if anyone can beat Kage or Biz. I think Shinda Lion, I think Jackie. Who knows if Epic Murloc will continue to keep entering, or Prometheus. But yeah, it's pretty competitive. I think that Kage is a pretty sizable lead, but it definitely can be overtaken. Now for this one, this is going to be at 900 subs. My sub count has not been growing. I understand that subs are kind of outdated, but for monetization for YouTube, they really want you to get to 1,000 subs. Like, that is super important. So I'm trying to kind of give incentives to get to 1,000, and then once I get to 1,000, I'll kind of give more stuff. But that's my goal right now, is to get to 1,000 subs. It's going to help with monetization so much. I might do some other things here and there. But yeah, I think that this was pretty interesting to find out. And if you disagree, that's fine. A lot of these people are really close. But yeah, my next video is going to be about an ultimate newcomer. It's going to be another villain of some kind. But yeah, you'll have to wait and see. You can join our Discord either to help with research or to just kind of get informed about the process of things. These take longer than expected sometimes. The ultimate ones are not as long, just because there's a lot more documentation for these results. So when I have to go back and click bracket by bracket to do like Melee and PM and Brawl and Smash 4 and 64 and all those, that takes longer. But yeah, so I'm going to keep doing this. I'll have a 64 newcomer coming up pretty soon after the next ultimate character, and I'll keep it going. So thank you for watching, and have a great day.